Here she goes again. Hide your face, hide your neck, duck your head, wear an NFL football helmet when you are playing in a game versus DiJonai Carrington. Fresh off of clotheslining, a Kane and Undertaker clothesline from hell that she delivered to Sophie Cunningham, this girl is right back on the court, hitting people upside the head once again. This girl needs to be kicked out of the league. She's a menace to the league at this point, and it's unsafe for players to be out there.
The return game was supposed to be DiJonai Carrington's opportunity to put all the criticism behind her, but instead, the night seemed to take an unexpected turn that left her visibly shaken. As the crowd grew increasingly hostile, with fans even chanting for her to be banned, the tension inside the arena became impossible to ignore. But what caused such an intense reaction from the fans? And what made Carrington appear to break down as the chants became louder? Could there be something deeper behind the emotional moment than what happened on the court?
It only took 2 games for dirtbag DiJonai Carrington to be back to her dirty tricks. DiJonai Carrington balled out her first game back. Ooh, under the legs. Whoa, between the legs. Wow, behind the back. I've never seen this type of play before in the WNBA. This is incredible. And then here we are, the very next game, and dirtbag DiJonai back to...
The most troubling moments surrounding DiJonai Carrington may have very little to do with basketball itself. After a controversial week pushed her name into the center of one of the WNBA's biggest discussions, the attention surrounding Carrington has clearly moved beyond what happened on the court.
DiJonai Carrington cannot avoid controversy. The dirtbag was back in the building tonight against the Golden State Valkyries, and once again she cannot keep her appendages to herself. Definition of appendages: her arms, her hands. She finds a way to always use them to inflict pain on others, and she's just, quite frankly, a reckless
What was meant to be another step in DiJonai Carrington's comeback has instead turned into a wave of criticism, angry reactions, and growing questions about whether the connection between Carrington and some basketball fans has reached a breaking point. And if you've been keeping up with the controversy surrounding the Chicago Sky star, you already know this situation didn't start with just one game.
This girl will not stop until she ends somebody's career. DiJonai Carrington, once again, with another dirty foul in less than a week, in just a couple of days apart from each other. A couple of days apart from the Sophie Cunningham hard foul. You have Mrs. Eye Poke, Mrs. Flagrant foul. I'm gonna grab your head, I'm gonna hit your head upside your head, knock you out the air. Mrs. I'm gonna pull your hair. Mrs. I'm gonna whack you on the back of your head. Mrs. Long nailed, sharp knobbed fingertips. DiJonai Carrington strikes.
The situation started with a game against the Indiana Fever, quickly adding another heated chapter to one of the WNBA's most emotional rivalries. On August 8th, Carrington and the Sky took on Indiana, but the game was soon overshadowed by a physical confrontation involving Sophie Cunningham. Carrington was ejected after the league classified the play as a flagrant 2, and the incident quickly spread across social media. The controversy grew even further when Carrington posted the words "white privilege" after the game. What had initially been a heated basketball incident suddenly expanded into a much wider discussion involving race, sportsmanship, discipline, and the way players are treated when emotions boil over. From that moment, Carrington was no longer being discussed simply as a player involved in a controversial foul. Her name had become part of a much bigger national debate. Even before this controversy, Carrington had established herself as a tough and aggressive defender, known for bringing intense pressure that coaches appreciate but opposing offensive players often find frustrating.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, the lunacy, the absolute hypocrisy of the WNBA. It never ends, and I don't think it's ever going to be. You didn't expect that, did you? Of course you did. We see it every single day. You know, Stephanie White showed us she is way in over her head without telling us that she's way in over her head. Actually, she told us she's way in over her head. We'll get to that in a minute. The latest disgrace was from Stephanie White, who, by the way, was booed last night.
Then came the Caitlin Clark era, and suddenly, Almost every physical play involving Carrington had the potential to become a major social media story. The spotlight on her became even stronger following the widely discussed 2024 incident involving Clark, when Carrington was accused of making contact with Clark's eye during a game. The moment continued to fuel basketball discussions long after the game ended, and Carrington increasingly became connected to one of the WNBA's most divisive storylines. But there is a major difference between receiving boos from opposing fans and feeling as though the people in the stands have completely turned against you. That distinction matters. Players generally expect hostile reactions when they enter an arena wearing an opposing team's jersey, but once the criticism becomes personal, the entire atmosphere can feel much more intense. Carrington eventually returned to action in Chicago's 94-88 win over Connecticut, bringing back the defensive intensity that had become a major part of her identity. Ironically, her return should have been a positive moment. After spending months recovering from an injury and working to regain her basketball form, she finally had another chance to show why she had earned her place in the WNBA.
Ain't even Sophie Cunningham part 2. It'd be Sophie Cunningham, Skylar Diggins, Kate Martin, Sarah Ashley Barker, Jessica Shepard, part 97. Caitlin Clark eye gouge, part 95. When it comes to DiJonai Carrington, here she is on the floor being dirty once again. The girl cannot help herself at this point. She can't help it. Take a look at this. Okay, you swing at the ball, but then you hit her all in the face with your other hand, and then you put your hand.
She was healthy enough to play, beginning a new chapter with the Chicago Sky, and returning to a team where she had already built a reputation as one of the league's toughest and most competitive defenders. Instead of marking the start of a calm comeback, though, her return quickly became another part of a controversy that seemed to keep following her. That is one of the strangest realities of sports in the social media era. An athlete can spend months recovering, training, studying film, rebuilding confidence, and preparing physically, only for a single moment during a game to overshadow all of that work. Suddenly, the conversation can move away from how well a player is performing and focus entirely on one possession, with an entire season being viewed through the lens of one incident. After Carrington left the court, the discussion about basketball was almost drowned out by a much bigger debate over punishment, accountability, and whether the league needed to take stronger action. Fans immediately started questioning whether the WNBA would suspend her, whether the Chicago Sky would publicly support her, whether further discipline is coming, and most importantly, whether Carrington fully understood just how angry the situation had made people.
And I love how people say later the technical rescinded. That was the fastest rescinded technical I've ever seen. I said, "Oh, I went to ESPN."
It was like an hour after.
It was like technical, and then as soon as I was like technical rescinded right underneath, I was like, "Yeah, I think they got it right too." I don't think that there was any intention. I don't think she sought out the ref. I listen. I'm on her side on this one.
It was fast.
But again, that was the fastest. Let's take a record for that. Was that the fastest rescinded technical?
No, 100%.
The controversy surrounding Carrington has grown far beyond the original incident. Her social media post only intensified debates about race, discipline, and accountability. Fans continued to criticize her physical style and question her actions on the court. Yet Carrington still has practices, teammates, games, and a career to focus on. Every mistake now receives massive attention, especially across social media. Her challenge is to turn the criticism into motivation instead of letting it define her. Ultimately, Carrington must let her performance on the court tell the next chapter of her story.